When you first see Fall Guys, you might think, that looks fun, silly, and not too difficult. Some people might even think it's a kid's game, with the vivid colours and vibrant themes. But then you look a bit closer. The collaborations with Doom, Alien, and Bella Porch? Eventually you start to find the difficult levels, the Kaizo levels, the parkour levels. There are some really great ones out there, and here are some of my personal favourite levels that seem to be quite easy at first glance, but you quickly realise they're anything but simple. So here we go. First level here is called Don't Give Up. I've discovered most of these levels in Explore mode or from some of the previous shows that we had. So this one starts off actually quite difficult already. It just doesn't look that difficult. Now there's a lot of levels that you'll come across that are creative levels that just straight away look impossible, and they're just absolutely full of obstacles. But I really enjoy these levels that have just kind of very minimal gameplay, but tough in a crazy kind of way. So I'll have cut out most of the failures in this video so you don't have to sit through just over and over again, but rest assured, these levels really tested me, and I think you'll agree that they're not for the faint of heart. I mean, a lot of them even say that in the level description, but when you're playing Explore mode and stuff, and you're probably going on your phone at the same time as playing the game, are you really reading the description for each of the levels you play? So this one has different sections throughout the levels. Each section and checkpoint has a different kind of task that you have to complete, and I still, after loads of attempts, don't know how I managed to actually qualify at the end of that level. I thought for sure, as I was falling through the slime, that I was dead, but maybe there's an invisible wall or something. Which brings us on to the next one here. This one starts off nice and chill, as you can see. There's just some hex tiles. There's a little bit more space between them than you'd regularly see in other levels. And then this one does something that I quite like a lot with these kind of levels, where it just very slowly and carefully ramps up the difficulty. This one doesn't even have that many sections, but rest assured, despite that, this took me, I think, about 20 minutes to beat this level. I put myself through this just because I wanted to see what was at the end, and I wanted to see if I could actually beat this. And just like that, this is the last checkpoint, and this last one is absolutely tough as anything. This is absurd. I didn't even beat it here, I just wanted to show you how difficult it is. So, wherever you go, wherever you jump, you do not land where you expect to. And I just got very lucky with a bar boost there through the finish line, because this thing, there's fans pushing you around, there's quite a quick and big spinner going around, so to jump over that, you have to be basically perfect on the timing. Now this next one, I actually posted a clip of this one onto Twitter because it was so unbelievable. This one is one of those levels that is so much more difficult than it looks. And it doesn't look necessarily that easy. It starts off and you're like, okay, it's just a bouncing level. Realistically, how tough can it be? The answer to that is almost impossible. This requires, and like a lot of these kind of Kaizo levels, I don't know if I'd class this specifically as a Kaizo level, but these kind of very fine movement levels, you have to really be very familiar with every aspect of moving in this game. Every single trick, every single way to keep control of your momentum, your angle, your bounce. There's just a lot to this game, and people really do forget that. It's not just a kid's game, it's not just a simple, happy, fun bean game, especially not when people make levels like this. And this one has actually been changed since I played it. When I recorded this, it had a genuinely, as far as I could tell, impossible final section. You get to this checkpoint here, and it's just over. It's done. There's no way you could get to the finish line. So that one I didn't even complete. Rest in peace to that bean. Next up we've got Sanga's Impossible Course. Now this one's called an impossible course, but unlike the previous one, which actually was impossible, this one is definitely doable. Hooray! So with a few of these, I had them come up in Explore, and I got sort of halfway through them before I started recording, and I realised, oh wow, I actually really want to beat this, and I want to record it to prove that I can do it. And then what I've done, including with this one, is then come back with the level code to play the first half again, just so I've got the whole thing videoed. So this first half is just me in a custom lobby, playing it by myself, but then you'll see once I get to a certain section, it goes back to a recording in Explore mode. Hooray! So there'll be other beans, well, if they reached as far as I got. Everything about this level is just a little bit off, and difficult enough that you kind of go, oh. But it very quickly gets evil. So this is just difficult to stay on straight away. There's some crazy obstacles, and if you're a new player to Fall Guys and you've only played on mobile so far, I think levels like this probably are impossible unless you have a controller attached to your phone. I would never want to try any levels like this on a touchscreen, because I just don't think you've got enough control over the fine aspects of the movement unless you've got a controller. I just don't know if it's possible. And then things like camera angle as well. You've got to do so much at the same time in these kind of levels, with button presses, beam movement, moving the camera, getting the angles right. On the plus side, the phone version does have an auto grab, so it'll help people in some respects, I suppose. These sections aren't really too difficult. These are just more a case of don't rush. Just take your time. Use your camera so you can get the right angle to see where all the obstacles are, and just take things slow. But you'll see that that doesn't necessarily work for all of this level. There's a lot of moments like this where you have to just kind of get really crazy on the timing. But it's still a fun level. I don't hate these levels. I really love the feeling of achievement you get from actually beating these. And isn't it funny that you can still just jump on the side of those platforms still? I mean, some people will hide invisible death zones or kill zones on those bits, but at least this person didn't, because there's nothing more cringe or frustrating than an invisible kill zone in any of these kind of levels. Now that section, even though I just zoomed through it there, took a good like 4 or 5 attempts. It's really difficult. This one you have to just spam jump as soon as you land on that hex tile, and there's just loads of little bits to throw you off. Despite this being kind of a tough level, it's nice to see the creator has actually put a lot of thought into the visuals. It's got a nice look to it. Now this one, again, I kind of cheated a little bit. I had actually done it almost to the end using the actual platforms, and then I got hit by a vegetable or something, so then I just decided, you know what, we're just going to stay on the side. If the creator left it in, I don't feel too bad about actually just using anything I can to get to the end. Now still, relatively, the level hasn't been too difficult so far, but then you see this, and this is pure evil. I am not making it up. I probably spent about 5 to 10 minutes on that one section by itself. Luckily though, when you finally get through that one, you've just got a couple more obstacles at the end there. I think that took me only 2 or 3 attempts to get that finish line through. Now we've got Day at the Races. How hard could that be? It sounds very pleasant. Look at this, we just got some speed rings, some other happy beans lined up against us. This doesn't look like a difficult level, does it? So this one I actually played a little while back. I don't know if this was Solo's Shuffle or Unexplored Adventures or something, but this was before Explore was really a thing, I think. So we had these kind of levels. And this one very quickly ramps up in difficulty. There's not too much difficulty in just having hex tiles in your level, but as soon as you then incorporate that with things like boom blasters and other obstacles, things very rapidly become frustratingly difficult, and this is one of those levels. Nothing about this level is easy. It's super annoying, but I kind of like attention to detail and the kind of cleverness with the combinations of obstacles. There's a lot that's just kind of thrown in your face, and it reminds me of some old levels, like I think it's called I Wanna Be the Guy, which is a kind of 2D platforming game that was basically designed to be terrible to the player. It takes kind of everything you're used to about 2D platforming games and completely throws it back in your face and kills you repeatedly in the game. Trust me, if you look up a little video of I Wanna Be the Guy on YouTube or something, you'll see people playing this thing, and although I've never attempted it myself, it's just absolutely player versus the level kind of design, and I'm all for that kind of thing in Fall Guys as well. I think it's quite funny. But when you start having invisible kill zones everywhere and stuff like that, it's not actually good level design anymore. You have to kind of take people's expectations of what they need to do in a level and subvert them, throw them off, have funny stuff happen. It never needs to be too annoying for too long, and this level, luckily, wasn't too bad in that respect. Now we got skipping mats. Now I have actually shown this clip in a video before, but don't worry, it's a quick one if you've already seen it. This is another one of those levels that, on first glance, looks pretty simple. We just run against the conveyor belt, and then that's it, right? No. This level is one of the most difficult ones I've actually qualified from. You have to get incredibly precise, if not perfect timing, with your momentum, with your jumps, and there's just so much to it. Every single aspect of this level is designed to be an absolute test of bean athleticism. Can you believe it? There's so many different techniques that you've got to use as well in this. But luckily, I somehow managed to get through this at a really fast time. I've made this level look so much easier than it is. Even these other beings in this level are like top tier gamers. They're all really good, really skilled people, and they're all just struggling with this level because it's pure evil. Alright, let's finish up the video here with Airborne Navarre. This one is Airborne Navarre, and this is another one that was, I think, before Explore Mode came out. This is a fun and super tricky one for sure, and it's got loads of cool little mechanics. Unfortunately, you have to kind of work together at that first little bit there, but after that it's every bean for themselves, and it's just a test of mechanics. So you got lots of little kind of special techniques that you use in this level to progress to the next area. There's so much in the way, you have to be really careful with your bean movements wherever you go. Again, once you actually qualify from this, it kind of ends up looking a lot easier than it is, but there's so much going on, so much precision required, and actual knowledge of what the map's going to do next. It's a very crazy level, but it's a very fun one. It's super satisfying to beat this level, and if you see any of these ones in this video, give them a try. Don't expect to beat them. It's taken me quite a long time to beat any of these levels, and that's with many years of practice at this game. But anyway, thank you so much for watching these. I hope you enjoyed seeing some challenging rounds. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to be really kind and you got a bit of free time, if you just watch another one of my videos straight after this one, it is so useful for my channel and for Fall Guys on YouTube. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.